The boy was being broken up with at a coffee shop, and the girl happened to be Heine's closest friend. They all attended the same school, and Heines happened to witness the entire scene, though she had zero interest in such matters. With such wonderful friends and family around her, Heines felt truly content. That kind of happiness was more than enough for her. Even if she never dated anyone in her life, she would be perfectly fine. After parting ways with her friend, Heines headed home. On her way, she suddenly spotted the guy who had just been dumped. Yao was sitting alone on a bench, likely still shaken from the recent breakup, and he looked utterly heartbroken. Seeing him like that, Heines couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness herself. Yao didn't notice that Heines was right behind him. She stepped forward and held her umbrella over his head, gently telling him that he might catch a cold sitting out like that. Little did Heines know, the small act of kindness would completely turn her life around. The next day, the whole class was buzzing with gossip. Yao had shown up in Heines' classroom and confessed his feelings for her in front of everyone. But Heines, who had never been in a relationship before, turned him down without hesitation. Yao, however, didn't give up. Early the next morning, he waited for Heines on the street, hoping to walk to school together. Heines was stunned when she realized he had been waiting for her, especially since she had rejected him just the day before. When Yao asked Heines what kind of hairstyle she liked, she replied that she preferred short hair because it was easier to manage. But what really puzzled her was why someone as handsome as Yao would be interested in her. Yao explained that when she held the umbrella for him that night, he felt she was someone he couldn't let slip away. He shared that many people only approached him because of his looks, but as soon as they noticed any flaw, they'd label him as strange. Heines was different. She spoke to him naturally and never judged his behavior. When they reached the school, Heines hadn't even made it into the classroom before her best friend Asami pulled her aside. Just the day before, Heines had asked Asami what it felt like to be in love, and now, out of nowhere, she was arriving at school with the most handsome guy around. Asami couldn't help feeling a little jealous, but Heines quickly clarified the situation. She hadn't accepted Yao's feelings and was still unsure. Determined to win Heines over, Yao tried everything he could think of. The next day, he saw Heines carrying some boxes and immediately stepped in to help. Heines noticed right away that Yao had cut his hair short. She had mentioned she liked short hair, but never expected he'd chop off the long hair he'd kept for years. It left her speechless, mostly because she truly didn't understand what it meant to have feelings for someone. Hearing this, Yao suggested that if she was curious, why not go on a date with him? Maybe then she'd figure it out. With Christmas around the corner, Heines was afraid of hurting him again. She admitted she didn't know how to be in a relationship and turned him down once more. But Yao insisted that everyone falls in love eventually, leaving Heines stunned yet again. He wasn't ready to give up. At lunch, he brought over his lunchbox, hoping to eat with Heines, and even shared his favorite food with her. Heines was delighted. It was her favorite, too. It seemed no girl could resist a good meal. But instead of keeping it all to herself, Heines split the food evenly with Yao, slowly starting to appreciate the simple joy of sharing a meal. Then Heines noticed Yao wasn't wearing his earring. She told him he didn't need to change himself just to suit her preferences. Yao, however, took it as her liking the earring, so he put it back on, though one was missing. Heines offered to help look for it, but Yao brushed it off, saying he must have misplaced it somewhere. Heines didn't forget about it. During PE class, a classmate forgot her hair clip and asked to borrow one. Heines lent hers, but when it was returned, she noticed one clip was missing. Yao, who had been waiting to walk home with Heines, saw what happened and joined the search on the playground. But the snow was falling heavily that day, covering everything in a thick blanket of white. They could barely see the path, let alone a tiny hair clip, and eventually had to call off the search. That night, Heines lay awake, unable to sleep. She decided to go back and look again, but then her phone rang. It was Yao, asking about the details of the missing clip. Heines knew something was up. She threw on her coat and